Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a review for you and it is of a security camera. And I know before you go and just turn off this video because you're thinking this is a off-grid channel, why in the world do I care about a security camera? This one is a little different because it is completely wire-free. So I believe that in an off-grid situation, if you live in an off-grid cabin, something of that nature, I think this small security camera might be a great fit. Alright, and what we're looking at is the ONWOTE wire-free solar security camera. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so let's see what's inside this box. Okay, and there is a warning right at the beginning. It says, warning, do not charge the camera in the environment below 0 degrees Celsius. So you cannot charge this camera in an environment that's below freezing. It is recommended to stay the camera indoor for half an hour before charging. Please charge the camera with a 5-volt power adapter before use. So we're going to have to charge this camera up before even connecting it to solar at all. And it does say if you're in a northern environment or an environment that's going to be a winter cabin, this is not a good option if it's going to be outdoors. So that's kind of a bummer, but I'm not really too surprised because I believe this is just a lithium-ion battery. All right, and then right on the top, it does have a sticker that says ONWOTE 24 hours video surveillance. So that could kind of be a good deterrent. And then it has a small user manual. So we'll be using this. It looks like you can easily install the software by using these QR codes. It also talks about the introduction of the camera, pretty much what each item is on the camera. And then it goes through the software to tell you how to add the camera, how to reset it, stuff like that. Then there is the option for SD. It does support a micro SD card. We'll have to find out the max size of this SD card. So it's not. It's nice. It's nice that it's not only cloud storage, so you don't need internet access. I believe everything can be stored locally on a micro SD card. And actually, this just keeps saying SD card. I wonder if it's like a full-size SD card. We'll have to find out. But like I was saying, it's nice that it's not just cloud storage. Everything can be saved on this local storage SD card right here. And then charging the camera, we're going to need to plug it in first to get it to charge all the way. So that's going to take about 10 hours is what they say to make sure that it's fully charged. And then we're going to be hooking it up to a solar panel. And then at the end, there are safety instructions for battery use and then some troubleshooting on if something is not quite going right with the software or the camera. So, nice simple manual. All right, let's see what this is. Here is the solar panel, it looks like. And it's a very simple solar panel. Looks like it has a screw in the back, so we'll be able to adjust it. And the cord, looks like, the cord is just a micro USB cord. So that's interesting. And actually, this kind of makes me concerned that, that this camera isn't going to be very weather resistant. So we're gonna have to see how it's actually plugged into the camera itself. Because I would hate for any kind of snow or rainwater to get in this plug and short out the solar panel or the camera. So we'll have to look at that. Let's see what else we have. We have, looks like a mount for the camera. More mounting options. Looks like here's our charging cable for the USB charging for the initial charge before we hook it to solar. Here's some more mounting equipment. And then here is the camera. All right, here is the back. Here's the top of the camera. the front of the camera. Let's go ahead and peel this off. There we go. All right, so it looks pretty basic. It's kind of neat because it looks like an egg, and then your antennas can kind of go up. So that's, I mean, and it's pretty sturdy. I like how sturdy it is. It doesn't like feel cheap, really. I mean, it's made out of plastic, and I'm not surprised by that. But it's got a little bit of weight to it. So I'll be excited to see how this goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and charge it for 10 hours. And while I'm doing that, we'll go ahead and install the software and see how easy it is to get the software to communicate with the camera. Okay, so let's go ahead and charge this thing up for the initial charge up. It did say to charge it for 10 hours, so we'll go ahead and follow those instructions. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug it in and just let it charge overnight. And so we'll go ahead and do some more testing and actually probably a little bit of installation tomorrow. But let's go ahead and plug it in and see if it does anything weird. Okay. I noticed that the USB port is right here. So it's actually on the bottom of the camera. So I think that if you have any kind of rain or snow buildup, the plug is actually in a pretty safe spot because it's gravity is not going to really push any water towards this direction. It'll drip off. Okay, and when I was just about to plug this in, I noticed that the USB has it has like a little rubber grommet right here, which it covers it pretty well for from the elements, which completely covers it up. But I mean, the ONWOTE people really thought about this because there's a little USB cover right here that if you pull this off and the little rubber piece comes out, it's pretty much a little rubber fitted like gasket. So when you plug in your solar panel, it fits in there perfectly. So when it plugs in, it pretty much seals the wire. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about water getting in there or any kind of condensation because it really puts a good seal on the wiring. Okay, the camera is now plugged in and charging, and it looks like there's a charging indicator right here on the front. It's a tiny little red light. I'm not sure if you can even see it. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and keep it plugged in, and hopefully it knows that it's fully charged by that light turning off. But that's something we'll have to kind of figure out. Okay, while this camera is charging, let's go ahead and look at where you plug in the SD card and some of the specifics about the camera. First of all, I was correct. There is a little waterproof latch right here that you pop out, and it has a power button. It also has a reset button for the camera, and there is also a micro SD slot for a SD card up to 128 gigs. So that's a pretty substantial storage for a single camera. This camera is not made for 24/7 surveillance. It's really only made for if you need to log into it remotely via the app on your phone, or if it senses movement, or it does say that it has smart AI human detection, and I believe it starts recording when it senses something of that kind of nature. So, but we're going to test that out once we actually get it mounted and started up. Some of the other specifications about this camera: it is 100% wire-free. It has a lithium-ion battery inside with a capacity of 9,000 milliamp hours. It does have low battery indication, and it has an indicator for when it's charging. The resolution of the camera is 5 megapixels. That equates to a resolution of 2592 by 1944 pixels. So that's like 2.5 times better than a 1080p resolution. Okay, this camera also says, like I said, it has a smart AI human detection. And what that does is that I think it activates like a spotlight on the camera. And then also a sound warning if you want it to do that. And then that spotlight, it can deliver color nighttime video. The camera does do full tilt pan. I think it does 360-degree pan and 120-degree tilt. So there are a lot of options for being able to view your surroundings with this camera. And it also says that this camera does have the ability of two-way talking. All right, well, it's been 2.5 hours, and I came down here just to see how the ONWOTE camera was doing on its charging, and I noticed that the light on the front of the camera is blue, and I believe that means that it is fully charged. So let's go ahead and continue with installing the software on my phone, and we'll go ahead and set up this camera down here in the basement to see how it operates. All right, we're gonna go ahead and scan the QR code in the manual to see if that takes us to the app. All right, and it took us right to the Cloud Edge app, so let's go ahead and hit install. And I'm just gonna be following this step by step right from the manual. All right, it's installed. Let's go ahead and click open. Okay, and we don't have an account for this app, so let's go ahead and hit sign in now at the bottom. Region is United States. My email, let's go ahead and put that in. Next, we got to put a nickname in. I'm going to call it OGB for Off-Grid Basement _ camera. Password. All right, I put in my information and made an account, so now it's saying to add device. We'll want to select battery camera.
Press and hold the device power button to start the device.
Okay. So now, like it said, we're going to press and hold the power button to start the device. All right, the light turned on, it made a little ding. And I notice now that the light is flashing on the front of the camera, but we're gonna go ahead and hit next on the app just to see what's going on. Okay, it's asking for my location.
Please reset the device by holding the reset button for 5 seconds. Wait for the indicator light to flash red.
Okay, so it's saying to reset the device now. So there's a reset button right inside this little area right next to the power button. So we're going to go and hold that down for 5 seconds to reset the device. All right, the light turned off and it turned back on, so I'm releasing. And now it made a little chime. And it says to wait for the red indicator light to start flashing and then hit next. So it's flashing, we'll hit next.
Select a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi network and enter your password.
Next you have to select your Wi-Fi signal. It has to be 2.4 gigahertz though. You cannot use your 5 gigahertz band.
Please remove all film from the lens. Tap next to show a QR code, and let your device scan the code. Keep your phone 5 to 8 inches from the lens.
Okay, so it announces what you're supposed to do, so that's kind of nice. But now it says that it's going to put a QR code on my screen of my phone. And that will, I believe that will make it so the camera bonds to the account on the phone. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I hit next. The QR code is on the screen, so we're going to go ahead and put it in front of the camera, 5 to 8 inches. I noticed that it beeped, and now the indicator lights flashed quickly, and then it turned blue. So I feel like it read something. So I'm gonna hit next.
Connecting. Please wait.
All right, it said connecting, and now it's connected to my phone. So the device has been successfully added. So we'll hit next. And now it just says, it talks about an installation guide. It says avoid facing the road or crowded places outdoors. Objects directly towards the center of the camera may not be detected. So you should do it from an angle. Okay. Yeah, and this is going through the installation guide of how you should have the camera installed.
Put camera and phone at the place of camera installation. Press next to enter network diagnostic.
All right, here's the all right, and I'll just put, I'll select a room, I'll put door. Okay, so I believe that's the installation. So let's go ahead and install it down here for testing. And then I'll show you what it looks like on the phone. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and install the camera right here against the wall, just so we can test some of the camera options that it has, the movement, the recording, how it looks. So let's go ahead and install that now. And installation is actually very easy. With this, you can either install it pretty much so against the wall, or you can install it so it's up like this on like a ceiling. So it has wall mounts right here, and it has ceiling mounts up here. So you have two ways of installing this. But we're going to go ahead and install it up against this wall. So we're going to be using 2 screws to put it in just like this. And I'll want the camera to be pretty much face height. So I'm going to install it about right here so it'll look like that. All right, now that the plate is installed on the wall, all you have to do is click the camera into place. Yeah, so put the top in first, then you push in the bottom and it clicks right into place. And that's it. I mean, it's in there, nice and solid. And then if you need to get it out, I believe you can just push this down and it just pops out. Real easy. So let's go ahead and put it back in. And there we go. All right, so we're going to open up the Cloud Edge app, and I'm going to go ahead and just hit the play button right on the screen to see what happens. Okay, it's kind of still showing me. Oh, jeez. All right, and you can see, I don't know what camera to look at now. Well, how about I look at this one?
Now you can see that on the screen, there's probably a little bit of a delay in the sound, and I have the sound turned off because it's kind of annoying. Because what it does is it echoes back and forth because it catches itself playing and it will echo forever, which freaks it out. So that's why I had to turn it off. But you can see on here there's different options. And actually, I'm going to look at this camera again.
My mouth is probably off sync to what it should be. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, you can have a screenshot. Let's just press that, and it instantly takes a screenshot of whatever is being recorded at the time. So that's nice. There is hold to talk, so let's go ahead and do that. And as soon as I press that, it asks me for permission. So yes, I do want to allow it. Let's try it again. Hello. Okay, and you heard it come out of the speaker, so it was actually pretty fast. And then there is the record button, so you can actually record what's being played live right now. So let's hit record. And it looks like it's just recording. So, and I'm getting notifications on my phone all the time that there's motion. So that's, for testing, that's kind of annoying. It probably will be nice once you actually set it up. Let's go ahead and stop recording. Okay, the next thing that we're going to look at about this camera is the motion detection, and you can see that the motion detection is currently on, and if you press it, it's all the settings for if you want motion detection on and the sensitivity of the detection. There's also some performance and power saving modes. There's an alert plan, a humanoid alarm area, and also an audible warning and strobe light. So you can set those to activate when it senses any kind of motion. All right, and then there's PTZ, which stands for pan tilt zoom. So we're gonna go ahead and click on that. And it looks like it gives you a pretty much a controller to be able to control the camera. So if I'm looking at the camera and I want it to go up a little bit, you just press up and it moves the camera. So it's very easy to use. I'm moving it. You can see that you're moving the whole camera left and right. All right, so that actually works. That actually works pretty well, the tilt and the zoom. And I do like how it gives me a percentage of what my Wi-Fi signal is. So right now it's at 78% because we are in a basement. When I actually install this outside, it'll probably be hopefully around 50% because it'll be farther away. But we'll just have to see. All right, let's look at the next option is a light option. So let's actually turn the camera towards this camera, and so that way you can see the light option. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the light. Here we go, and that's actually pretty bright. I mean that'll light up a pretty good area. It says that you should mount it 7 to 10 feet above the area that you want to view. So these lights will probably shine down a good 10 feet. But again, we'll be testing that actually outside. So let's turn the light off. And there is a second page. There is a siren function. So if you turn on the siren, it actually activates a siren on the camera. Let's go ahead and do that. And it says, notice the siren may be loud or is loud and it may disturb your neighbors. So are you sure you want to do it? So hit OK. And there it is. You hear that? All right, well, I got the camera installed outside and you can probably see it right up there. The installation was super easy. Just like I showed you in my basement, it was only a couple of screws and it clipped right in. The wiring is hidden underneath the gutter, and the solar panel is right there. Right there. And it's pointing south, so it should get good sun for most of the day. So what I'm gonna do is, for the rest of this video, we're gonna go ahead and use that camera to record everything else.
Okay, and here is the view from the camera. As you can tell, it does a pretty good swath of area. And what I can do is I can use the app to move the camera from side to side. We can see everything on this side, including all the way out to the street. Then on this side, so I can see all of my solar panels, and I can catch all the audio and video. It also has a light, so if I wanted to turn the light on, it gives me a nice bright view, even in dark. Even though the camera does have night vision, the light is just an added bonus. So we'll come out later tonight to show you what it's like in complete darkness. All right, and here's what the camera looks like in complete darkness. And as you notice, as soon as I walk up here, the lights turn on because it senses that there is a person. in front of the camera, so it automatically turns on the lights to make it a full color image. So this is what it's like in the dark with the lights on. And also, I went ahead, the video before was in standard definition. This one is in 5 megapixel high definition. So this is the difference in those resolutions. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and turn the light off to show you what it's like in the dark. There we go. And as you can see, as soon as I move though, the lights turn back on. There we go. See, as you can see, and now it's starting to probably sense again, and the light will turn right back on. But I must say, this camera does a pretty good job. As soon as I move a little bit, there we go, it turns back on. So I really hope that you like this video. If you have any questions about the ONWOTE wireless solar high definition camera, please leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great night. Bye-bye.